little special, to me it feels like a special treat. We're gonna do a lot of mindfulness, basically. Some restorative yoga poses, some breath work, and some meditation. I don't want you to stress over any of it. This is like the exact opposite of being stressful, but whenever anyone hears meditation, not whenever, oftentimes when people hear meditation, they start panicking, thinking, I can't do that. And I promise you, you can. I promise you, you can. You're gonna be uber successful at this. If you have blocks, have them ready. If you have a yoga strap, have it ready. I'm using like one of these like towels. If you have a blanket or a towel or something, that would be great too. And then if you have any other props, like a bolster, I actually don't, because I like to not have a lot of stuff in my house, which I'm kicking myself about right now. But if you have a bolster, that would work great also. Or just even like a big couch pillow. I might actually grab that and use a couch pillow as my bolster. But I'll do that in a minute if I need to do it. Okay, I'm Maeve. Again, happy to be here with you. We're gonna start seated, and I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of what's about to come so that a lot of the time I like to surprise you, but I wanna give you sort of the trajectory of where we're going today, and so you can kind of get a sense of what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with some breathing awareness, and then we'll do a breathing exercise. And then we're gonna do some gentle movement, some long holds and postures, and then we will go into some more breath and then mindfulness meditation. So nothing will be challenging. I mean, what will be most challenging is just to stay present, but hopefully my guidance will keep you looped in. So first thing, just start in a comfortable position. You don't have to be seated. I'm gonna be seated. You could lie down if you want to. And then you don't have to close your eyes here, but just let your gaze start to be less alert and more internal, more almost like a faded sort of, you know, when you're like, I always use this example, like if you're at the nail salon, or when I lived in Boston, I always use this example when I lived in Boston, you're on the subway, you don't really want to make eye contact with anybody, and you don't really know where to look, so you just kind of look off and you let your eyes glaze over. That's what we're gonna do, if you're not closing your eyes. So that's your choice, closed or that quiet drishti. And I want you to know and believe that you don't have to change your breath. You just need to watch it. Watch it enter your body. Watch it exit your body. And then just keep doing that. And I encourage you to believe that you don't need to change anything throughout this. We're not working toward a goal. We're just being in ourselves in this moment. Notice your thoughts. Come back to your breath. Notice your body. Come back to your breath. Begin to notice the length of your inhale, the length of your exhale. the ease or the effort behind the breath, maybe both. And then start to lengthen the spine a little more and get a sense of lifting up. If you're lying down, just lengthen out. If you're sitting, try to get the sense of the breath giving you space to sit up a little taller so that it encourages the breath to be more fluid and full. You're going to let your eyes open. And if you are lying down, I would suggest sitting up now because this will be better seated than lying down. We are going to do alternate nostril breathing. And some people love it, some people not so much, but it usually grows on people as they do it more regularly. I'm going to teach it to you the way that I learned it and the way that I've done it, but there's many ways to do things. And I want to say that now because I feel like if I'm teaching something some way and you go into another class and a teacher is teaching it in a different way, it doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just different. So I'm going to teach it how I learned it. It doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. And if you know how you want to do it and it's not how I do it, that's cool too. We're going to use our right hand and we're going to use our thumb and our ring finger. So you're going to pull in your index finger and your middle finger, okay? So take a breath in. Exhale all your breath out. Through the nose, of course. You're going to plug your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Use your ring finger to plug the left nostril and then exhale through the right. Stay here. Inhale through the right nostril. Thumb plugs the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Stay here. Inhale. Plug. Exhale, right nostril. Stay here. Inhale. Plug. Exhale, left. So there's an exhale and then an inhale. You switch after the inhale. You exhale. You inhale. You switch. So just let that be your little mantra. Exhale, inhale, switch. So that I don't have to keep talking. You can just find your rhythm. Again, it's an exhale and inhale, switch, in case you got off that path. We're going to go one more time each side so that you're ending exhaling out of the right nostril. And just release your hand when you get there. Feel your breath. What alternate nostril breathing does is it helps to kind of balance your state, your mind, your state, so that breathing, I always think I'm going to get this wrong. I think I have it right though. Breathing through the right nostril activates you, gives you energy. Breathing through the left nostril calms you, brings you down. And so when we breathe and we focus on each of the nostrils, we start to level that energy. And I hope you feel that way now. And if you don't, it's okay too. Sometimes it takes a little practice and it's okay. Beautiful. We're going to start some lovely restorative postures. So I'm going to give you some options here. If you have 2 blocks, we're going to do a supported fish pose on 2 blocks. I will show you that, and then I will give you the alternative in case you do not have blocks. I like middle height this way, the long way, and then tall, the skinny way. Okay? And then this is where my shoulder blades go, and my head rests here. If this feels like it's too high, I'm actually going to remove this just so you get a better picture. You bring it down 1 level. Like that, okay? And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So the tips of the shoulder blades come onto this first block, and then your head gently rests on the second block. So when you're in the right spot, the blocks sit level, you feel very supported, and then you can either have the legs out straight. If you'd like, you can have the feet in Supta Baddha Konasana. You can also have your knees bent. Alternatively, if you don't have blocks, you could use like a foam roller in a block, or you can use a towel or a blanket, and we might do this again anyway. And I just fold it up or roll it up so you get this little thing right here. Your shoulder blades come onto that, and then your elbows bend, which you can also do this on the blocks, but here it's a little more supported, out to the sides so that the elbows are above the blanket or towel. My blanket could actually be a little bigger. And it just tips your heart up. So it's a much subtler version. And if it feels better, then that's the one you're going to go with. I'm going to go on blocks. And as you are here, wherever here is for you, continue to be aware of your breath. And I'm just going to periodically give you some sort of touch points to bring your awareness to. But for the most part, I want you to have some time and some quiet where I'm not just yapping at you. So I'll give you a few moments to settle here. Notice the weight of your head, whether it's in a block or on the floor. Allow the shoulder blades to receive the pressure of the block, the towel, blanket, whatever it is you're using. And soften across the heart. Notice if anything is holding on. And so anything in your hips, in your shoulders, in your feet. And just encourage those spots to soften and release a little more. As always, allowing attention to the breath. Staying aware of sensation. If something needs to be adjusted. You are welcome to stay exactly how you are or adjust in any way. If it feels good on your body, take the arms up to the sky and then maybe reach the arms overhead. It's going to require just a little bit of work. Now reach the arms back up. And then we're going to gently come out of this. So if you need to help your legs out, if they're in a position, take your time. And as you come out, be aware of how you feel and map out your movements. So these transitions are really important when you've been in a long hold. You can roll to your side, you can push into your elbows and come up. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back to sitting. And probably just sit without a block or without, if you had like a cushion, that would be fine, a bolster, but something soft, it'd probably feel better. And we're just going to do a little seated cat and cow here. So holding on the fronts of the knees, the exhale draws your rib cage back, it rounds the back, drops the chin, and then inhale, pull through. And do that a few times. One more time. Transition onto your hands and your knees. Take your right hand a little more forward. Slide your left arm under the right side. And upper body, thread the needle. Press into your feet. Allow your shoulder to get heavy. You are welcome to explore this pose
however you would like. And I'll give you some suggestions of versions that I like. So I like being here, just this really basic version. I sometimes like to bring my right hand behind my back. Sometimes I like to take my right leg out to the right side. This one is probably my favorite. And you can combine any of these things together as you want. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. Notice sensation in your body. We unwind this gently. So just back yourself out from wherever you are. And when you're ready, you'll go second side. Right arm you can take the left arm a little more overhead if it feels good. Right arm out to the left side. And then any number of options. Maybe the left arm comes behind the back. Maybe the left leg out to the side. Notice your thoughts. Come back to your breath. Notice sensation. And again, come back to your breath. And then beginning to unwind this.
Back through center and then onto your belly. Onto your belly. Stack your hands, put your forehead down on your hands. Let your legs be long, and you can take your feet a little wider than your hips.
And then just rock your hips a little side to side. Almost like you could take on the shape of the floor, anything that was under you. Just soften. And then find still in the center.
And now lift your heart up, lift your head up. Take your right arm out to the side with a bent elbow. Roll onto your right side. And gently press the right arm down into the ground, really gently. Left hand either gives more pressure out into that right arm, or left hand receives some of the body's weight to take pressure off of that stretch on the right side. So it's however you want it to be. I have my feet stacked, my legs long. Allow your head to rest heavy in the ground. If you need a block or a pillow or blanket or anything under your head to allow for a better position, I'm going to trust you to do that. Very important to be mindful of sensation here. So in these longer holds, these gentle stretches, you want to make sure that everything feels good. And then come back through center. Stack your hands.
Forehead down. Separate the feet, rock your hips out.
And then lift your heart enough just to take this left arm out to the left side, elbow wide. Look to the right.
And just roll to the left side, right hand on the ground again. Is there to receive weight or to give pressure? Allow the left side of your head to rest down. And use something under your head if you need it. Notice your thoughts. Come back to your breath. Notice sensation. Adjust if needed. Come back to your breath. Last few breaths here. And release into center gently.
And if you're comfortable in child's pose, we're going to press back into child's pose. Some ways to make child's pose more comfortable. So if you have a bolster, you can put it under you. You can bring a block under your forehead, if that's good for you. And play with the position of your knees. They can be super wide, they can be very narrow. That's going to be dictated on your hips and how happy your hips are in this position. Also, maybe your knees. So there's no right or wrong here. Just find what works for you. And if this doesn't work, roll on your back and hug your knees to your chest, and you'll have a similar effect. About 5 more breaths here. Really nice, really nice. And then rising up. Beautiful. Come to sitting. So I stole one of my couch cushions, a literal couch cushion. So I want you to know that if you don't have all like the perfect yoga props, it doesn't matter. You've got stuff around your house, if you just look, that will work. So we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. You might not need this at all. If this is not a pose that feels restful to you, I'm going to encourage you to just stay up, maybe sit to a wall so that you have support, and just let your legs ground down. If this is a pose that feels restful and comfortable and you want, this just gives you like next level of support. If you have a pillow or a bolster, it's like heaven to me, but I know not everyone feels that way. So I want you to find your version of heaven in this pose, whatever that might be, or maybe just like a nice position. Heaven might not be achievable, but we're going to do our best. And so typically, I'm going to talk for a minute. I want you to find your position, but I don't want to talk into the pillow. So once you found your position, just rest. And typically when we're in a more active practice, I'm cueing you to dig your heels down to activate the backs of the legs. I want this to be softer and quieter and easier and far, far less effort. So I talk a lot about balancing ease and effort. There's no balance here. It's all tipped to ease. All of it tips to ease. The effort should be getting you into the position and then only ease. Okay? So sometimes I like to stack my hands and have my face straight down to keep my neck neutral. If you're more comfortable taking your head to one side, go for it, and then I'll cue you to switch it. Good. If your head is to one side, switch it the other way. And then rise up. Beautiful. You're going to have one leg out in front. One foot's going to come in. Janu Shirshasana, coming forward. If you're using a pillow or a bolster, might I suggest you take one end into your belly. Mine's really big. My pillow's really big. And then you're doing the same thing that we just did in Upavishta Konasana. You're giving your torso something to be supported on. Check in with your breath. Check in with your thoughts. And the work here is in letting go. That's our, and I don't mean physical work, the work, the practice. That's a better word. The practice is in letting go, in down regulating our system. Inhale, rise up. And then switching sides. So the other leg goes out straight, foot comes in, with or without extra cushion here. Come forward. Inhale, rise up. Beautiful. Okay, So you can use a wall if you have one that's handy to you. If you don't have a wall, I'm going to give you an alternative. We just have a few more things. This takes up a lot of time. Forget how long each one of these poses needs to be to really feel it. So we're getting our legs up. My preference would be legs up the wall, I'm going to be honest with you, because then you don't have to do any work. But if you don't have a wall that's like handy and clear, you can just take your legs up. If you have a strap, I would suggest maybe using the strap so that you don't have to do any work to hold the legs up. So maybe just like here, okay? But my preference, again, would be using the wall. And I like a block. So here's the easiest way to do this. You get pretty close to the wall sitting sideways. Roll over to your back. Of course, I'm placed here at my picture. Let's see if I can not damage this. You lift up, you put a block underneath, and then your legs rest at the wall. So this block or a bolster just gives you a little more lift up, but it's optional. So I'll give you a few moments to arrive there, and then we're going to start to play with the breath very, very, very gently. So not aggressively at all, and at no time should the breath feel challenged or inaccessible. Taking a long breath in. A full, complete breath out. And then breathe in for 6. 6 counts. Little pause at the top, and then 9 counts to breathe out. Little pause on the emptiness, and then 6 in, little pause, 9 out. And we'll do that about 4 times. I'm going to let you count it on your own so that whatever your count is works for you. And so you don't have to listen to me. If you have your legs up the wall, we're going to start to come out slowly. So first thing is, if you're using a block, you're going to remove the block. Release your hips down. Bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And then just roll to a side. Really good. If your just legs are in the air, then you can just bring them down. Okay. This will be fairly quick. If you have a strap, have it looped to the very, very end. If you don't have a strap, don't worry. Have the buckle on the side. If you don't have a strap, use a blanket, a towel, something, and put it around your foot. If you have your strap, it's looped. The buckle's at the side. And you're gonna put the back of your head into the strap. And then you can tighten or loosen. So I like to start with it pretty loose. That way you know you're in a good spot. And then your head, we're just kind of creating like a little, like a hammock for your head here. And you can tighten it if you want it to be, careful of your neck, please. But if you want it to be a little bit shorter of a hammock, you can tighten it. And gently press your head back. So if you're not taking this option, you're gently pressing your head to the floor. If you have this little hammock, you're gently pressing your head into the strap. And this is so good for tech neck. I was scrolling Instagram the other day, or I wasn't scrolling, I was letting the story play. If you do that, I just kind of let the stories play while I'm doing something else. And talk about not being present, right? And one of my friends had something and it said, if you're reading this now, sit up straight, you look like a croissant. And I burst out laughing because I 100% looked like a croissant. So this helps to fight the croissant. There's no such thing as croissant pose. If you're taking this option that I'm doing, it should feel glorious. If it feels anything less than glorious, don't do it. It looks really uncomfortable. It feels like being held by your mamas. One more breath here. Listen, if you have this leg and head in the strap, you've got to be careful. Start to bend the knee and then carefully take the foot out. Everyone switch sides regardless of the version you're doing. And then don't expect it to feel the same on the second side. Gentle pressure of the head down. Bend the knee, release the strap entirely, and then both knees hug to your chest. We've got some more options coming your way. Okay, so watch. If you're using a bolster or a couch cushion like me, you can bring it behind your hips. This doesn't feel good for everyone, so if it doesn't feel good, don't worry. If you have 2 blocks, grab them now. You bring the back of your hips to the cushion. You lay back, and then the blocks come under your knees. I mean, hello. And we'll take a few breaths here. Alternatively, any piece of this, the legs with your back flat on the ground. You can use a towel like we started in the supported fish pose and put that under your shoulder blades, or a blanket this way, and it will give you a little bit of the same sort of support. When we use this from the hips up, we're just getting a lot more support. We'll do one more breath. Awareness now, and then we're going to start to move toward just quiet, quiet, quiet. Okay. So we're going to do, it's called a box breath. And I typically like doing this seated, but there's some power in breathing when you're lying down because you're very soft, you're very relaxed. And if you envision a box or a square, each side is equal. And we're going to look to do that with our breath, creating a pattern of balance between the inhale retention, the exhale, and the exhale retention. So breath in, breath out. Inhale 4, Pause for 4. Exhale 4. Pause for 4. Inhale 4. Pause. Exhale 4. Pause for 4. Do that 3 more times on your own. Allow your breath to just find a natural rhythm. We're going to remove these blocks and take the legs out of Supta Baddha Konasana. You're welcome to stay on a pillow here, or if you want to feel the ground under you, remove the pillow and come flat. Eyes soften or close. Notice your right leg from the heel to the hip. Down the front of the hip to the toes. Notice your left leg from the left heel to the hip. Down the front of the hip to the toes. Notice both of your legs. Feel your sacrum in the ground. Allow it to be heavier. Allow the front of the hips to take on a sense of broadening, of opening. Belly soft. Front ribs soft. Start to notice the circumference of your rib cage, of your torso. Become aware of your front right shoulder, down the inside of the right arm, through the elbow, the forearm, into the palm, into the fingers. Feel the weight of the back of the right hand, the forearm, the elbow, the back of the upper arm, into the back of the shoulder, and allow the shoulder to be heavy, to take weight. Come across the chest to the left shoulder. Feel the weight of the front of the shoulder, down the front of the arm, across the inner elbow, the forearm, the palm of the hand, into the fingers. Feel the weight of the back of your left hand, of the forearm, of the elbow, of the upper left arm, back of the shoulder. Let it take more weight. And notice both shoulders, both arms, both hands. Notice the front of your throat, the front of your neck, the sides, the back, the base of your skull, the back of your head, your right ear, your left ear, both ears. The hinge of the jaw at the ears, let that soften. Maybe the lower teeth fall away from the upper teeth. Soften your lips, your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead. Feel your whole body as one. And if any part of that body is holding on or clenching, just encourage it to release more. Touch your thumb to each one of your fingertips on each hand. And stretch your arms overhead. Bend your knees. If you're on that bolster or pillow, carefully roll off. Everyone roll to your right side. Press down into the ground to rise up. Sit tall. Bring your hands into your heart. Just notice how you feel. Honor that you gave yourself this time to unwind, to get quiet, to let go of work. Bow your mind to your heart. Rise. Thank you for your practice.